Welcome to the Hookup on Music with your genre jumping host.
Hey, it's me, Tony B. What's going on out there? This is the week to really dive into some music. Not that the other 78 weeks we haven't been diving deep, but we're going to keep diving. Tonight is a very special episode number 79. Wanted to get some stuff out there. Been gathering a lot of thoughts on a lot of good music, and I thought, why not do a special Monday episode? I haven't really ever done that, so I decided to put that together. And also, this Wednesday, please join us for a very special live episode, our 80th episode. Yes, we're going to be live on the YouTube, on our Sadistic Penguin Studios YouTube channel. If you happen to listen to the audio version, it will drop shortly. And after that, I didn't mean slowly, fastly. After that, we're going to have a live guest. Marge is her name, and she loves great music. She's a fellow Sadistic Penguin Studios member. So it's going to be very exciting to share this 80th episode on some really awesome musical talk. But let's get started on tonight. I still am shocked that we are at episode 79. I say that every week. It's like we keep going and we keep ruling and rocking and rolling and get just lots of positive feedback of all the awesome different genres that we're covering, which honestly, that's my favorite thing, is to cover multiple different genres. And tonight, in our new releases that we get started every week with, we like to get started covering new releases, no matter if it's maybe a new concert we've been to. It could be something new in any musical genre. It could be something that's been thrown our way. Today, we've been guided towards the way of somebody who I have not listened to too much. I am very familiar with his acting career, but his name is stage name is Childish Gambino. You may know him as Donald Glover, a really awesome, famous actor, but we're going to stick to Donald Glover. I mean, Childish Gambino. You see how you get confused because I'm so used to Glover's work, but new album just dropped. It's called Brando Stone in the New World. This is his 5th studio album. A really, honestly, I guess from what I'm hearing, just another good representation of his work all put together on this new album. Actually, a soundtrack album to an upcoming film of the same name. So it's pretty cool when an artist who stars in a movie decides to do a whole full soundtrack with the intention of also starring in the picture that is involved. But the name of the album is Brando Stone in the New World. It is 60 minutes and 11 seconds. First track was Lithonia in the Night. Lots of good stuff from what I've been this is where I've been slowly observing it. This is really kind of a little bit, from what I've heard of his past work, just kind of a continuation. It's just really great, a really great style and a sound of somebody who is really, really into his art quite a bit. Just his the first single, Lithonia, loaded with some rock heavy, a little bit more heavier than you would expect maybe from Childish Gambino, but just the sounds are just coming from all different directions on this brand new album. Coming true. I mean, I did like shit is cool, and it ain't nothing new. Doctor give me your Yeah, a little bit of you could see the style there, which is always expanding. It's not like it's just one varied style. That's what's cool about Childish Gambino, is that really is into mixing it up, really into mixing up the styles of his music and into not just making it traditional, making it lots of different sounds. So if you're into hip hop, R&B, like to get the little shoulders moving with a little bit of funk, Childish Gambino as a whole is really, really good at that. And from what I'm listening on this new album, tracks 4 Steps Beach, really, really good. I love tracks where I try to pronounce them. Track 9, Yoshinoa. I hope I got that correctly. But again, dig deep into this album because it's one worth digging into. Speaking of awesome songs is, one that is always stuck in my head, sometimes, especially late at night, it's a good one when you're out at the patio. It's Radiohead's "House of Cards" off of off of In Rainbows. I almost said In Radios. In Rainbows, actually, it was the B-side of the A-side Body Snatchers, which is another just great song. But this House of Cards really, I remember a lot, when the album came out. This was the one as I played it through, really kind of stuck with me in my head. The music video for this is exactly like the card, for this the single, if you happen to buy it. A real good one to look up at the sky and look up at the stars and, really just kind of, take it in. It was first performed by Thom Yorke as an acoustic rendition in 2005, but, according to bassist Colin Greenwood, an earlier version was a bass riff, in the song was in the style of REM. Really cool that you may not expect it, but REM, liked some Radiohead, and Radiohead liked some REM. Also, Yorke described, the mellow and summary and likened it to a really awesome track, by Buckingham and Nicks Fleetwood Mac, with Peter Green, who we've covered on here with his great guitar playing, and Albatross, a 1968 instrumental. Really, really awesome, a really, really great song. Dedicated the refrain "Denial" to current past President George W. Bush, for rejecting the Kyoto Protocol, an international treaty to reduce greenhouse gases. Very interesting. The music video directed by James Frost, who just really, really does a great job. If you have not, got a chance to either listen to the song or watch the video, I would suggest that you, go and do that immediately, because honestly, you will not be disappointed by, what you're seeing, by just the whole entire. It reminds me of that cool thing that you used to have where you would put your hand on it and you would see it sometimes at like Spencer, and then you would move it and it like looked like needles, but it didn't. It like stayed current, in the shape that you did it. But really cool video. Check that out, if it has been a long time. Curtis Mayfield. Oh wow, we have talked about Curtis Mayfield on this show a couple times. Tonight we're going to focus in on one of Curtis Mayfield's albums that I find to be very, very, very awesome. It's called "There's No Place Like America Today." A great album from 1975. The track that I'm going to focus on quite a bit here is a little track called Billy Jack. Here is a really, really great performance of that song here, a live performance. Shot across the room, and now the man no longer lives. Sadly, I wish we could just sit here and jam this whole entire song. But again, just a really, really, really great track that starts kind of with a really awesome guitar riff that would liken it back to his Superfly soundtrack days. Really, really gets going. It's over 6 minutes, which honestly is, I like to mention, a great thing that we enjoy as longer songs. But a really good track to be listening to and jamming. And honestly, this whole album, 7 tracks, 35 minutes. If you are a fan of a lot of his work, you're going to realize, like the album before, Gotta Find a Way, 6 tracks. The album before that, Sweet Exorcist, 7 tracks. He liked to lay down 6, 7 track songs. Okay, every track a feeling of its own. This one had such great songs as Blue Monday People, When Seasons Change, Hard Times. What's crazy is there's a Hard Times, and then if you get the reissue, there's a longer version with it's just 13 seconds more. I mean, people are just saying, hey, you know what? Curtis Mayfield, we need more, especially off of this great album, There's No Place Like America Today, which was produced by Curtis Mayfield. Okay, he did the vocals, the guitar, the keyboards. Really, really cool. Phil Upchurch, if you're familiar with his work, he did the guitar also on the album. He is an American guitar player who's played with Otis Rush, who we've covered. An excellent, really, really great guitar player who we had a really pleasure of talking about in a couple past episodes. So if you have not been able to go back and listen to that, I would definitely suggest doing that. But again, we like to talk about things that maybe you haven't heard that much. And honestly, when looking deep into this album, I don't know how many people have listened to it too much. It's just a really, 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 really awesome experience. So if you have not listened to Curtis Mayfield, um, there's no place like America Today. Do that. Check that album out, and get back to me. And curious to hear what you think about it because it's really actually very good and worth every minute of your time. Just as the Pretenders are always worth my time. Tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to dig into the Pretenders' second album, Pretenders 2. I always like, we're going to obviously at some point talk about this when bands name their albums like numerals, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Some bands do it the whole entire career. Recently, we talked about the Gap Band. They did the numeral game. It was very cool to take in Pretenders too, because it's just a really awesome, great album. With again the same players as Pretenders 1, Chrissy Hynde, James Honeymoon Scott, Pete Farden on bass. Honeymoon Scott was on lead and rhythm guitars, Martin Chambers on drums. We have talked about them before and their greatness. But when you dig into this album, you're going to get a lot of good songs.
Now the reason we're here.
I like that song a lot. Really, really good groove. That is The Message of Love. Just a really great single. According to the drummer, Martin Chambers, the song was largely formed in the studio based on a rough sketch presented by Hynde. We never really got into the studio without any rehearsal and recording a song, but we have done that once, and that was Message of Love. Really, really awesome track. I think it really is a good jam. The producer was Chris Thomas, who does really, really phenomenal work with the Pretenders, Roxy Music, Elton John, Pink Floyd, the Beatles, Climax Blues Band, INXS. We can go on forever. And when we pick up again down the road on a great producer, he would be a really good one to talk about. But Pretenders 2, if you have not taken the time and listened to Pretenders 2, it to me is equally as good as Pretenders 1, which we have talked about quite a bit on here. Pretenders 1, of course, has a lot of good singles that people remember. So when coming to Pretenders 2, Talk of the Town, I Go to Sleep, just a really, really interesting album. I Go to Sleep was written by Ray Davies, who ends up having a child with Chrissy Hynde down the road a little bit. But if it has been a long time and you have not checked out Pretenders 2, it is a good indication of a good band before some of these members unfortunately pass away. But again, a band that's just you know what I mean? If you dig deep a little bit, some people say there was some lack of songs on the album. It's 46 minutes, though. I mean, is really that a lack of songs? But again, that's one to be what's the word I'm looking for? Taken into. Talk of the Town was rumored to be about the relationship with Davies, who, inspired by a fan Hynde had encountered on the band's first tour, and when she regretted not speaking to at the time. Really great, again, good stuff. The album also includes forward tunes such as The Adulteress. I love a track titled like that. The vocal delivery by Chrissy Hynde is always great. This is the first time that they would have come out with an album after this. This came out in 81. Learning Crawl, the next album, don't come out till 84 because of the passing of the two members. So again, great album, really worth you digging into. Anytime you dig into any Pretenders, it's really, really worth the time. Also really, really worth the time. An excellent all-around musician. that it's a shame that not on this show, but on past shows definitely have covered. He's just an awesome musician that honestly came to town within the last couple of years. George Benson is his name, and he is just honestly part of jazz, pop, R&B, some great singing, great album in Breezing, a triple platinum album. Really, really great. Also, it's got a Hollywood Star Walk of Fame star, 10 Grammy Awards. That's really huge when you're talking about somebody who's just made such an impact since 1964, since he's gotten his beginnings. For me personally, this song right here, anytime you're not feeling down, or even if you're somebody out there currently not feeling down, or feeling down, I said not feeling down or feeling down, this song is guaranteed to pick you up in another great video. That guitar he's playing is just really, really cool. He's just got a vibe that's different compared to a lot of other artists. Digging into his discography, 1964 is the new boss guitar of George Benson. Really great album. Another over 6 minute song. I don't know. Really awesome. Shadow Dancers, great track. Easy Living, excellent. Indication on a debut album of an artist that just really puts together a good production. In 1976, he teams up with jazz saxophonist and flutist Joe Farrell, and they come out with that album, Benson and Farrell. Really good, awesome cover too, which we're going to get to in a little while. Cool album covers. But again, the cover looks like, instead of Benson and Hedges, the cigarette company, it's Benson and Farrell. Looks really, really cool. And what's even better is he follows this up with Breezin'. I mean, you're talking about an album that has the Masquerade, Affirmation, So This Is Love. I mean, just great stuff. 6-4 is one of my favorites, which back to Phil Upchurch. We were bringing him up earlier, right? He's got a connection to this. Bobby Womack, he wrote Breezin'. Really great album. Again, the players who, when you're talking with somebody in the amazingness of George Benson, okay, when you go into the next album, he does a great cover on In Flight of The World Is a Ghetto, a great song by War that we cover quite a bit outside in the where I'd like to sing and get down and have a good time. That's a really good one. George Benson has quite the collection, and diverse, and got some guests coming up that are really we're gonna really dig deep on some of these artists that we've talked about, the Otis Rushes and the George Bensons. 1980s album Give Me the Night, the track that you just listened to. I remember specifically being 13 or 14 and just picking this album up for my dad. I mean, he was he liked the funk, and George Benson really delivers it. So every time I get to listen to this, it's a really awesome honoring, and it's an awesome honoring to a great guitar player. If you out there have not taken the time to listen to some George Benson, even if you have, and this is just kind of like, oh, I know, maybe you learned a little something here, and maybe you didn't, and the thing about his albums is that they're just loaded. Okay. His last album, okay, 2019, okay, was Walking to New Orleans. Okay, he's still putting out albums. This album had really great covers by Chuck Berry and Fats Domino. Ain't That a Shame? Okay, it's a little cool to think about George Benson digging into a little bit of, some of those great, what's the word I'm looking for? Just great. I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. Old classic, just guitar slinging, and you just taking a listen, you can imagine just how good it really is. And honestly, all of his stuff is really good. I Hear You Knocking, a song that I personally I've been playing quite a lot when the past show. Okay, we used to do another show before this show, before it wrapped. We did it out in the garage, and we would just jam some of these songs. Great stuff. George Benson is really, really awesome. Deserves the respect to definitely be played and spin. If you have not been able to get a hold of any records, you haven't been looking hard enough. Because honestly, when I go to a lot of awesome record collections and record shows and record shops, you could always find one awesome George Benson. And honestly, after talking with you today, I'm thinking about honestly just trying to pick one up every single time I happen to cross into one of these awesome establishments. So go ahead and check that out. Like we've been checking out, Phish has got a new album, 16th album. Phish Evolve is this by the Vermont jam-based jam band. 16 studio albums is no slouch for a band that is known for their live show. And honestly, they are known to be putting on some quality live shows. I spoke last week of them coming to Alpine Valley this weekend. So if you get a chance to go out there and you happen to hear any of this, please let us know. But at a recent show, Phish is always playing. Okay, they just played at what's the word? That's the Sphere, which had super what's the word? Success. A very super successful run. But here's a little version of one of the new tracks off the album. Always sounding good is Phish. So this album, though, again, Bryce Goggin and Vance Powell produced it. It's 13 tracks, 60 minutes, a couple 60 minutes. Paige McConnell, I've been really into his backing vocals lately, and they really do a good job on this. This is cool that the band that a lot of people enjoy to see live is still putting out new music. I think that's a key to any band staying alive is new music. It was recorded in November 2023, so here we are. It being released. Cool album cover reminds me of something really awesome by Pink Floyd. I have no complaints by this album. Again, it fits into everything else that they do as a what's the word I'm saying? As a excellent jam band, and we can go into a lot of jam bands, but they're one of the top ones. So check out the new album if you get an opportunity. Love the resurgence of T-Rex. Talked about the seeing, and I ended up doing at the show the brand new Nicolas Cage movie Long Legs, where his character's obsessed with T-Rex. Electric Warrior is a really great album. Talked about Jeepster before, but Mambo Sun, if you have not sat down and listened to Mambo Sun or Cosmic Dancer or Monolith, please do that. I know you're familiar with Bang a Gong by T-Rex, but this album is really great. Jeepster is in Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof. Cosmic Dancer is in quite a couple things, including Billy Elliot from 2000. But again, a great switching and a changing from a David Bowie. You could hear some Robert Smith in it, who had a copy of Electric Warrior, and said that T-Rex was one of the best at the time. The Jam's Paul Weller cited it as one of his all-time favorite records. So we're just kind of getting started in this T-Rex digging into, but I just found it to be very awesome that they were showcased so great. And it's again one of those things where T-Rex is more known as a band. Mark Bolan was vocals, guitar, Mickey Finn, conga, Steve Curry, bass, Bill Legend. Even though he sometimes is considered T-Rex, that was the name of the band. So we can't forget that. But again, good stuff. If you have not, check out Electric Warrior. Just like recently, with these lists, I tell you, that Rolling Stone puts out. Rolling Stones decided again that they are going to do 100 best album covers of all time. So you're saying to yourself, 100 best album covers? There's so many great ones. like the one you see if you're watching live. Neil Young's At the Beach. A great description is it's like a cars in the sand. Just really, 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 really good stuff. Great album covers. This is a series that we're going to be doing probably forever. Great album covers, because I think every single band's got some really great album covers. Neil Young's album cover here is just really cool because it showcases him. Okay, this is a great album if you've had a long weekend. I did a post earlier. What's an album that's great if you've had a long weekend? Somebody said Go-Go's Vacation because they were on vacation. Great indication. Vacation indication. But Neil Young in this is an excellent album that's just celebrating again an anniversary this year. And if you have not listened to this album, it's a good one. Let's look at that album cover and really listen to. But this list starts out with number 100, Spinal Tap, Smell the Glove. Okay. And you go 94. We've mentioned it multiple times, the amazingness of Slayer's Rain and Blood. Okay. None of these are an indication, but because 89 is Silk the Shocker, Charge It to the Game. See right there already. These lists start to get me a little boiled. You're saying to yourself, Slayer's Rain and Blood. I had Silk the Shocker, so I'm not even saying it because I judged. The album cover on your screen is 88. Devo, great album cover, Are We Not Men? That is right behind at 87. Okay, 85 is Minor Threat, great album cover. You go through these album covers and, you have your Radioheads, Kid A's in the 70s, who had a great album. Van Halen, 1984, great album in the 60s. But you say to yourself, is this the album that, is this the album that is their best cover? And you may see here is the Great Beastie Boys album cover. That one is on this, and you're saying that's an excellent cover. That's at 61. Okay. You keep just going down the list, and you're going to end up, if you keep going, Mark Bolan's T-Rex's Electric Warrior, which was just on the screen if you're listening to, that was 56. And that's an amazing, amazing, amazing cover. The thing about it is that a lot of this is we've said opinion. Rolling Stone's Some Girls, great album cover at 46. What Bruce Springsteen, I know the the iconic symbolism of Born in the USA, but I don't know if that's his best cover. Bitches Brew, Miles Davis, I will say 41. That's a great cover to be on this list, maybe a little bit higher. But you just keep going and you're going and going. So if you have a chance, check out this list and let us know what you think. Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks, great color scheme, 29. Okay. Just ODB, Return of the 36 Chambers, 24. That's a great cover on the album. I mean, this Black Sabbath, if you're looking live, their debut is at 20. It could be their best album cover. I find it to be pretty spooky myself. We're in the top 20 now. 19 was Outkast to Stankonia. 18, The Who's Next, great album cover. 17 was Carole King's Tapestry. Nas was Illmatic, which we just covered a couple weeks ago, so go back and check that out. 15, Beyonce Lemonade. Ooh. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, only 14. Hole Live Through This, 13. Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly, pretty cool album cover. Velvet Underground and Nico, 11. Always really close in the top 20. Nevermind, also 10. Cyndi Lauper, She's So Unusual. That's a little bit odd at number 9. But Annie Leibovitz, Photographer, photographed her, so maybe that's why. London Calling at 8. Funkadelic Maggot Brain at 71. Us here, we love our funk. And Maggot Brain's a great cover. Patti Smith Horses, great album at 6. Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die at 5. Dark Side of the Moon, of course, at 4. Probably not my favorite even Pink Floyd cover. Sly and the Family Stone, There's a Riot Going On. Pretty awesome cover. Definitely top 10 I could see. The cover on the screen, Abbey Road, The Beatles, number 2, which leaves to be what is number 1? Well, it is the famous Joy Division with the squiggles down the middle that we've had on this show multiple millions of times, and you've seen it on shirts. But just quite the countdown on albums right there. So if you get a chance, check that out and let us know what you think on that, because that's That's really kind of a stretch on some of those. We're not going to say which ones because we don't want to be disrespectful. But please remember, everybody, to go back and check out at the show this past Friday's episode where we talked about the great Twister, where I talked about Van Halen's Humans Beings, and I also talked about the great soundtrack of Atomic Blonde, Reflexes, The Politics of Dancing. Great track. Check that out. This upcoming Wednesday, I said it at the beginning, we're going live at 7 p.m. Going to have a great guest. Fellow Penguin Marge is going to be joining me. So that's going to be amazing. And that's going to lead into another great episode, the 50th episode of the great It's Getting Drafty in here. Do not have my shirt on right now. Unfortunately, I have my watermelon shirt, which I enjoy. But just remember, Wednesday, we're going to give us the night. And then on Friday, we're going to come back and talk about some great superhero movies that we're going to pick out between me and my main man, Yumper. So please remember. When everybody's calling, guess what we're going to do? We're going to thank you for joining us, the Hookup. And we're going to thank you for always talking music with us out there, because we definitely enjoy it. And we're definitely going to hope that you join maybe in the comments on Wednesday and let us know what music you've been spending, new, old, any genre. Please come on by and say what is up. We appreciate it. Everybody out there, my name is Tony. This is the Hookup on Music, and I hope you had a great time, because I did. So we'll see you on Wednesday.